Love means, yeah, I bet you could finish the rest.
Love means never having to say you're sorry.
As it's number 13 on AFI's greatest movie quotes of all time. Just one below Another Love, this time of napalm in the morning.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
Oh, Love Story. If you're ever in the mood to have a good, solid cry, this is the film for you. It explores the relationship between Jenny and Oliver, two people from contrasting worlds, a preppy millionaire and a social zero, as Jenny so eloquently puts it, who decide to grab coffee one day and continue to navigate life together instead of on their own.
Listen, Preppy, I know you've got at least a few brains.
Really?
The film wonderfully paces a journey of love and, well, serious grief. And while there have certainly been similar films before and after this particular love story, it's no secret why this film was the highest grossing of 1970. It was a real love story. I mean, just look at that snow montage before they got hitched. It feels like you're watching a home movie of two college kids falling deep in love. But we're not here to talk about how all that fake snow killed some of the trees and got production kicked off Harvard's campus and basically ceased all commercial filming on Harvard property ever. I'm Nostalgic Nick, and today we're checking out the talented cast of Love Story. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives. Alright, grab the tissues, let's go. Ryan ONeal. Oliver Barrett IV is the heir of an upper-class East Coast family who not only attends Harvard where he plays ice hockey, but his last name is plastered on the buildings all over campus. So Jenny's nickname of Preppy certainly has merit.
Hey, what makes you so sure I went to prep school?
You look stupid and rich.
ONeal first stepped onto the scene in 1960, shortly after he had also made a career in boxing.
Hey, look at Ryan ONeal, he's in there trying.
He was even a favorite to play Rocky Balboa until Sly bullied his way into starring in the film he wrote. But I cannot disagree with how the rounds played out. We first saw him as a regular on NBC's Empire in the early 60s, but most remember him from his long stay on Peyton Place, playing Rodney Harrington in over 500 episodes. But ONeal was still fortunate he landed Love Story, as many up-and-coming actors like Michael Douglas and Peter Fonda turned down the role, despite being offered 10% of the gross. Remember, it's the highest grossing movie of 1970. Another notable film of his was 1973's Paper Moon, where his own daughter, Tatum ONeal, won an Academy Award at just 10 years old. Ryan's credits slowed in the 80s and 90s, but he never stopped working. From 1989's Chances Are, to playing the title character's father in the hit Fox show Bones, which was his last role, and I'm not sure he'll get the chance to have another. Ryan has 4 children. Tatum and Griffin ONeal with his first wife Joanna Moore, Patrick ONeal with his second wife and actress Lee Taylor Young, and then Redmond James Fawcett ONeal with of course the late Farrah. But the parental issues spread across all 4. As Ryan himself says, quote, "I'm a hopeless father. Just look around at my work. They're either in jail or they should be." This coming from the man who reportedly gave cocaine to his 11-year-old kid. Today, ONeal is 81 years old and has been battling prostate cancer since 2012. But he must be doing okay, as in 2016 he re-entered the boxing ring, sparring with former boxer John Scully at the Bright Futures Boxing Gym in Hartford, Connecticut. Ray Milan. Oliver Barrett III is Preppy's pops, a man with rich expectations and an even richer lifestyle. He and his son, the fourth, butt heads over Jenny's socioeconomic class.
If you marry her now, I'll not give you the time of day.
Father, you don't know the time of day.
And this film was a first of Ray's. No, not ever, but the first without his hairpiece he had worn for decades, as Milan began acting all the way back in 1928. He pursued acting after he left the army. His first major role was The Flying Scotsman in 1929. After moving to the US, he worked as a stock actor. Then he was given another leading role in 1936's The Jungle Princess. But while filming 1939's Hotel Imperial, he suffered a near-fatal accident on set. See, Milan was an accomplished horseman and felt he could do the stunts himself. But when he was making a scripted jump on the horse, his saddle came loose, sending him flying into a pile of broken masonry. He awoke in the hospital with a damaged left hand, a 3-inch gash to his head, and a serious concussion. One of his greatest performances didn't come until 1945, as an alcoholic writer in The Lost Weekend, which earned him an Academy Award. He then directed a Western called A Man Alone in 1955, also playing the leading role. And from 1958 to 1960, he starred in the CBS detective drama Markham. Milan's final acting role was 1985's The Sea Serpent, but his final prominent one was reprising his Barrett in the sequel Oliver's Story. This fine actor died of lung cancer in 1986 at the age of 79. Ali McGraw. Jenny Cavallari is a quick-witted working-class student at Radcliffe College, interested in classical music and soon hockey, well, more the player on the ice. She falls head over heels for the cocky future lawyer and never looks back.
Listen, Cavalier, you're not that great looking.
I know, but can I help it if you think so?
Eventually even being the stronger of the pair while she's lying on her deathbed. Remember, I said this film was a sad one. Ali began acting in 1968, gaining attention for her role in the film Goodbye Columbus. But she was noticed far before that, as this 5'10" goddess with eyes that make you drool was a model for Vogue before she began acting. And by 1972, she was named the top female box office star, even though she had only been in 3 films. When a man came over to her home to discuss her follow-up film to Love Story, she fell in love immediately. That's because it was Steve McQueen, asking her to be in The Getaway with him. McGraw stating, quote, "I looked in those blue eyes and my knees started knocking. I became obsessed." Well, what followed was a great crime thriller, but a tumultuous union, with Steve abusing Ali and both abusing drugs. The marriage lasted from 1973 until 78. And was the cause of her career halt, as McQueen told her to stay home and take care of the kids. After their divorce, she tried to get back into the game, co-starring with Chris Christopherson in 1978's Convoy. But after a season 5 arc on Dynasty in 1985, she retired from acting, only returning for a small role in her son's second directorial effort, 1997's Glam, which is apparently just god-awful. Today, Ali McGraw is 83 years old and spends her time doing Hatha yoga, which she has been enjoying since her 50s. Ali is also an animal welfare activist and opened the largest pet rescue in US history. All I know is Ali McGraw stole a lot of people's hearts back in the day, and we wish her nothing but the best. John Marley. Phil Cavallari is Jenny's pops, who just goes by Phil even to Jenny. He is a firm believer in the 11th commandment, do not bullshit thy father.
Please watch your profanity, Preppy.
And Phil is such a supportive father, even though he's not keen on the do-it-yourself wedding, but support he does.
It's a new world, Philip.
Oh, yeah, it's new, all right.
John Marley began acting in 1942 and became a prolific character actor. He was put on the map when he starred in nearly 400 episodes of the show 3 Steps to Heaven. And while he may have had a lot of minor roles, he kinda became known for them. He appeared in some of the most popular shows of all time: Perry Mason, The Twilight Zone, and Bonanza. In total, he appeared in nearly 250 films and series during a career that spanned 45 years. And we can't forget to mention his role in The Godfather, where he got to wake up on the worst side of the bed of all time, spooning with a severed horse head. John's final acting credit was in 1986 for the film On the Edge, but it was a posthumous release, as he passed away in 1984 at the age of 76. But his performance in Love Story is anchoring, humorous, and will break your heart. Tommy Lee Jones. Hank Simpson is Oliver's roommate, a nice alpha rival for Oliver.
Hey, Barrett got a new goodie?
Yeah, Jenny Cavallari.
And we couldn't end this list without mentioning the talented Tommy Lee Jones. Not just because of what he accomplished in the world of acting, and not just because it was his film debut. It's because he was actually a Harvard graduate, and the student that screenwriter Erich Siegel based Ryan O'Neal's character on, based on Tommy and his Harvard roommate, future Vice President Al Gore. I mean, what? A few highlights from Jones's untouchable career. The TV miniseries Lonesome Dove in 1989, the alien thwarting Agent K in the Men in Black franchise, and his turn as the villain Two-Face in Batman Forever. Jones has also portrayed a number of historical figures, from businessman Howard Hughes to radical Republican Congressman Thaddeus Stevens in Lincoln. The man is such a pro, and I'd have to become a fugitive myself if I didn't mention that incredible 1993 Best Picture nominee.
Residents, warehouse, farmhouse, hen house, outhouse, or doghouse in that area.
For which Jones took home Best Supporting Acting honors. Today, Tommy Lee Jones is 75, and we last saw him in the 2020 film The Comeback Trail, where he co-starred with the breakout star Robert De Niro. There you have it. This film is a memorable and incredibly heartbreaking one, but now it's your turn to help us set the record straight. Was this love story deserving of 7 Oscar nominations? The music, yes, absolutely. Did anyone out there actually watch the sequel, Oliver's Story? And is this film the saddest one of all time? You got some good questions, so I'm expecting some good answers. Let us know in the comments. As always, don't make me cry and smash that thumbs up icon for us. And subscribe to the channel for more nostalgia. But from all of us here at Do You Remember, we want to thank you for watching.